Just waiting for Fitzum to get on here, and we'll be good to go. He'll let me know if this AC thing, if I need to turn it off or turn it down at the very least, and we'll see. I never know how to send these invitations. All right, there it is. Takes forever. Usually.
Yo,
Yeah. Oh, wait. Let me know if that AC is like blasting.
okay,
You probably barely could hear it just because I have the AirPods in. I don't know how I was out of the screen. Didn't even realize it.
bet.
But yeah,
Eh,
my dad's like
eh,
on the phone, so I had to drown out his like voice with an AC.
Word. What's good though? How you been?
All right, just getting to this spring. Getting to the spring favor working at this place, teaching these children how to run obstacle courses.
Oh, that's dope. That's what's up.
Yeah, it's better than the movie theater. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah,
I would
like
hate to
it.
work there.
No, I really did it, but like I never stayed past 11. To be fair, like they wanted me to like stay to one. I was like, no, that's not
Nah,
happening.
fuck. Definitely not
Yeah,
a movie.
yeah, it was not
Word.
worth it.
Yeah,
But
hell
yeah,
no.
we can get right into it. I took the week off from working out, and my thighs are still sore. It's ridiculous.
Bro, that should
Like
be the
I,
worst. Especially when you
yeah,
get
it's
back into it
crazy.
after time. Yo, oh my God. I felt I couldn't feel nothing. I was sore as shit.
So you gotta like, yeah, you gotta ease into it. Especially like every time I did like a bicep workout, my it would just be sore for a week. I couldn't stand it. Sore for a
Damn.
week, I'd be sour. But yeah, so yeah, sour. I forgot I said that. But yeah, yeah, I did this one with my friend Vernon. He probably joined on when we live streamed, but they didn't. The LFG thing, they didn't really want to post that one, so I'm doing a different one with probably some people that I met in the city. So yeah, basically, it's just they just do the fans' perspective. I've told you this already. They just do the fans' perspective on sports and everything. And I know big time KD fan, so I figured no, you get into that and
Yes,
just let
sir.
me know. Yeah, let me know why you're a fan. I mean, this is just a general. Like these don't have to be structured questions or anything.
Of a KD fan or
Oh yeah,
just
basketball first, and then you can get into KD. Let me just write this down. I'm
a,
gonna save the live anyway. I don't need to write anything now. Actually,
a basketball fan? Mainly it started from like I was a soccer fan first, mainly due to like my dad always like taking me when I was like younger, like 4 years old. Like he used to take me like Van Cortland. I used to watch him play. So that soccer started from there. But then like it wasn't until like I used to go to like a friend's house and they used to have a hoop and like we used to just like shoot around and then I thought I just like I got intrigued just like watching like the ball go in and like just doing like watching people just like doing crossovers and shooting the basketball. And that's like pretty much how I just really got into it. I just like if I shot further, like can I make it or like like stuff like that. Like I got more into it because of just watching other people play and just shooting. It was like it was pretty cool.
so yeah, so start off with soccer. I don't know how much do you still follow soccer, or
Uh
probably mainly basketball.
Soccer not so much, but when like the World Cup comes, like that's when I get more into it. Like the World Cup is like I'll pick a team. Like usually back in the day, like I was like a Ghana fan because they usually used to do like really good, but then like they just fall short. So I'd be like, fuck man, fuck this shit.
Yeah. There was one year where I never watched it, but there was one year where 2015 or 2014 when Brazil hosted it, and I like wanted them to win, and they lost like 9-1. Yeah, I was like,
Oh,
wow.
against Germany, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yo, oh my God, that was destruction.
probably
Holy
like the
shit.
only game I ever watched, so I just remember it. It was bad. But but yeah, so like what like when you started out, like how you couldn't have been that tall, like so it shooting's
Nah,
obviously like harder, the shorter
yeah,
you are.
I started playing. I was like second grade, so I was like 7, 8 years old, so I was like short as shit. I was I was like maybe like 5'3" or 5'4". I don't remember. I was like short. I didn't really get my growth spurt till like 13, 14, but I was short then, so but yeah. I was mainly like soccer then, but maybe I want to say like around fourth grade. No, what's fourth grade, fifth grade, I took it more like a little more serious. Like I used to just work on my shot And then, well, as the years went by, as I got older, it got more serious and serious.
Well, so how does that translate into, watching, college and the NBA?
Funny thing enough, it's like I was also a gamer first. Like I was mainly into video games. So like I remember getting like NBA Live back in the day. That also got me into basketball more. Because it's like I'm playing NBA Street. Like you like learn about older players like a Larry Bird or like like a Magic Johnson, like Michael Jordan, all those people. I mean, everyone knew who Michael Jordan was, but people from like his era, when you play those type of games and stuff. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like they do this crazy ass dunk, this shot, and then when I started watching it, I was like, this is just like the game. Like it's crazy. Like it's supposed to be like vice versa. Like you really like watch the game first and then you play the video game. But for me, it was opposite. So
Oh,
yeah.
no, my friend Vernon did this because he used to like the bat. I don't know if Backyard Sports had basketball actually, but they had football and baseball.
Yeah, I remember. I
Yeah,
remember baseball was popular back in the day.
yeah. So that was a bit. Yeah, I mean it's defunct now, but that just because like they had like the large heads and the small
Yeah,
bodies. Yeah, it was a
yeah,
yeah, it was like an innocent game, but I did like it. They need to bring it back for
yeah.
for Xbox and such. But you didn't start out basically like with any. You probably just more of a general fan than just picking like a random team.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like more like I started like playing games because I think someone gave me or I had it. No, I remember getting NBA Street. Like I was like in the fourth grade. Like, it was like volume one or volume two. I think it was volume two when I just started falling in love with it, and then I played NBA Live, and then yeah, around like the 2K era, like when I started playing 2K more, like that's when I started like watching basketball more serious. I used to like follow players, and then like I was never like I never had like a favorite basketball team, but I was like as a youngin, like Vince Carter was my favorite. So when he was on the Nets, back when the Nets were in New Jersey, I used to like the New Jersey Nets because of him. Because I was just a fan of what he can do and like his hops, like and all his dunking. It was just to me like it was incredible.
I mean that's kind of funny because I had a friend who I believe he said that they actually. I don't know if this is true or not. I believe it's untrue that they actually never made the playoffs when he was on the Nets. Whenever he made the playoffs, like he was on like the Raptors or whatever, or maybe like later on the Magic. But
Really?
I don't know if that's true or not. Like I don't know. It's like someone said that but like I didn't the guy who said it I didn't trust his judgment. Like I was like, oh, like didn't he lead them to the finals? And he was like, no, like he came like in '04, so it was like a little bit later or
Oh,
whatever.
that's yeah,
Yeah.
like 04, 05. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know if they made a play. I don't think they did. Yeah, I think you might be right. I don't think they did. I don't think he went back until yeah, like he was on the Magic, like 2008, 2009. But they was like squatted, like they were stacked. Like
Yeah, so that's why I don't know if it's true or not.
they had like Rashad Lewis, Dwight when Dwight was Dwight, Michael Petras, Jameer Nelson. I
DJ
remember
Redick?
that. I remember that team mainly because of what's it called? Because NBA Live 10. That's when Dwight was on the cover and that team was stacked.
Oh my God. She's like, she goes report, Megan. She report and ban Daryl.
Who the hell is
Yeah.
this?
No, yeah. I think we just hung out like Saturday. Like it's all these days are running together on me. Yeah, we just hung out Saturday. But like I told her, like I do these fan interviews. I don't know if I got to tell her, but like anyone who would listen, I was like, yeah, I do sports writing on the side. But yeah, stuff's hilarious. Yeah, to actually get me banned would be hilarious though. All right, so actually, yeah, Max said the same thing. Like he was like, yeah, he loved Vince Carter and everything. So, but you know what's funny? You're the only person I know who actually uses the word like instead of just dunking, you would say like slam dunk, and that's like the original term. Like I forgot that it was called slam dunk contest and everything, and then you would
Yeah,
say it occasionally.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
it's so
but
much.
I mean, yeah. But what
Yeah,
was it about? Like, I mean, like like Vince Carter. Is it like the body control? Is it the windmill?
yeah. It's just like that. Like it was just like you never saw no one doing that type of stuff. Like I mean, I was too young. Like when he won the dunk contest in 2000, I was only like three. But like when I remember watching the highlights and just watching him like doing these crazy ass dunks. I'm like, yo, like this dude is just doing shit. No one, like he's jumping. Like people just say it's like Jordan, but like the shit he was doing, like his hops and like especially people like he was bodying. Like when he bodied Alonzo Mourning, I lost my mind when I saw that. I was like, what? I was like, whoa, what the fuck is this? This is crazy. Like, yo, oh my.
Yeah, now, yeah, he lasted a long time. So why would I mean this actually gets into like a discussion I would have with people who are like bigger basketball fans than I am. What is it that you didn't actually like a one singular team as opposed to just like individual players?
Um, it was mainly like I was just like that's a great question because this is around like when Vince Carter was like getting older and he was getting traded to like when he got traded to the Suns. I was like, okay, I don't know who to support at this point because I think he was on the Magic. Then he got traded to the Suns, and then I was like, nah, I don't know who am I gonna support now because I don't like the Suns like that. Like I'm not gonna I don't like them. So I was looking for another player to like because and at that time too, Vince Carter wasn't like that great like he used to be. Like he was kind of regressing at that point. So I was like, I think that was the main thing because he just moved and like he regressed. So I was like, I'm not gonna be a Magic fan because he made me like the Magic or he made me like the Nets. So I don't know. It's just like it's not a bunch of players I really like on one team to say they're my favorite. There's always like that one player that stood out for me.
Well, I mean, how do you I mean it's so different because basketball obviously, it's only so much on a roster, maybe 13 at most 15. And then, you can still call it a team game, but, obviously three or four, three guys can take over the game and basically win a series. I don't want to say championship, but they can win a series. So what does that contrast to you in terms of, baseball and football fans where they follow full teams as opposed to basketball fans might like Kobe, LeBron, so on and so forth.
In football, it's like it's demanded to like you have to it's like built around the team. Like in basketball, you can have like a Michael Jordan and he'll drop 63 and they're just gonna highlight that. And like they might not like they might be a Boston Celtics fan, but they love Michael Jordan as like Michael Jordan might be their favorite player because of how spectacular he is. As in like football, like there's players like that, but it's mainly like it's all you're not winning without the team. It's everyone like the quarterback has to look good, like the wide receiver has to catch, like the defense has to step up. Like it's more a collective thing. I think that's like the difference. Same thing with baseball. Like the pitcher has to be on point. Like the people in the outfield got to catch the ball. Triple, double plays, triple plays, all that stuff. I feel like that's the difference when it comes to football, baseball and basketball. Like football and baseball is kind of like the same thing, but basketball, it's like there's players that just stand out and people like gravitate more to them. Whereas like football, it's like that, but they like the team more than the players sometimes. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. So let's just get into the Kevin Durant fandom. I'll call it. I don't know. I don't even know what fandom means. It's just a fancy word to throw around.
No, it's not.
But yeah, but like how long you been following Kevin Durant, and I'll let you tell it better than I can.
I've been following him since like 2011, 2012, and around the same time they were just like going on that playoff finals run. So yeah, around like 2012, when I started following him. And then I remember just like watching him play, and I was like, it reminded me of me because he's skinny, he can shoot. So I was like, I never like saw a player that emulated like my game. Not saying I'm like him, like identically, like I'm not that great. I'm not strong. I can't dunk on people, but like him shooting from deep, and like he's really skinny. It just reminded me of me. So like it's like someone I looked up to. So that's why I gravitate more to him than any other player.
So I remember not too much about high school, but you did have he's at the Thunder at that point. So you did have the sneakers, the shorts, and this. So
Yeah.
just talk about that, and if anybody ever gave you any crap for it.
Oh yeah, of course. You know, around high school, they'd be like, "Oh, he's dick riding," you know, this, not a third. But shit happens that you just gotta keep supporting. So I mean, at that time, like I'm like 15, 16 when he's still on the Thunder. He's on that run. So I'm thinking like this is like the first play like I really like started following more and more. Like after Vince Carter, like this is the first play I'm like, okay, he's really my favorite. Like like there's no one that can fuck with him. This, that, and the third. So I'm gonna support him. People saying LeBron, but this is my player, so I'm gonna support him. So I was like, you know what, man? Let me get some gear. Let me show that I'm really a fan. This, that, and the third. So it was just more like showing, like, okay, I'm showing you I'm really a KD fan. Like, I'm. This is why I support this player because he does this type of thing. So, and I emulate. I like watching his game because I feel like I emulate from it. So like it's so relatable to me. So that's where it really came in.
So I would assume so, but you got to probably see him in person when if the Thunder were playing the Nets or the Knicks back in the day. I don't know if you got to at all.
You know what's funny? As like an avid basketball fan as I am, or as I used to be, I've never been to a basketball game. It's surprising. It's very surprising.
Also, not even college, like the
Not
Big
even
East or anything.
like I used to like watching Duke like a couple of years ago. I wouldn't say they're my favorite team, but like, I used to like following them, like watching them play. But I've never been to a college game, but I've watched. Like I remember watching March Madness and going for Duke. I know you're a huge Duke fan. That's your team.
Yeah, I've been this when I write for ASAP Sports next, like if assuming that I'm still writing for them next year, which is all like likely, I'm just gonna write for a different team or like write about a different team just because I'm too emotionally wrapped into it to
Yeah.
where you can't like have your emotions that high and low and then try to write at the same time and try to simulate it being on deadline and everything. All right, so well, obviously, with this is actually really good to stay on KD just because even though it's not the same, it's very similar in how the Utah Jazz of the '90s would always come close and they could never win the big one, and the Thunder had that for a few years. So just talk about your emotion watching them be up 3-1 against the Warriors, lose. Some of Russell Westbrook's shot selection, and just the aftermath of some of that disappointment.
Oh man, I remember just like watching that whole series and like they were playing so great and I was like, okay, this is really gonna be their year. They're gonna win this shit. 3-1, they just need one more to win and then it's a wrap. And then, Klay Thompson gets hot game 6 and then I'm getting pissed off. I'm like, damn, come on, man. Like, KD, where you at? I was very frustrated because like Westbrook, like, even though his shot selection sus, like back then, and it's still sus right now, he still played a great series. And that was his MVP year too. So it was like he was giving all he got. And then this is like KD's moment to show that he's really that alpha and he can really beat the Warriors just down the third. But then he choked it away. And then when it really came time, game 7, to like really go off, it was too late and they blew the lead and it was over. And then a couple months later, no, even like I think a month later, like we find out that he went to Golden State after just losing to them, and I'm like, bro, like as a stan, I was like, this is a bitch move. Like, are you serious? You just lost. You blew a 3-1 lead to this team, and you decide to go to that team. I thought that was very soft on his part.
How do you? Well, I mean, if he goes to a different team, it's obviously insert random team here. It's obviously different than going to the Warriors. But how do you feel that whole fracture between himself and Russell Westbrook played into his decision?
I feel like it was just like Katie was just tired of just like, okay, it's your turn, it's my turn type of thing with with Westbrook. Like it wasn't more like he didn't felt like he had like a burden. He knew he was the best player, but it was like more like Westbrook. Like he's the point guard. He's gonna take the ball up. He's gonna take a lot of dumbass mid-range shots. He knows he's gonna miss, and it was like I think KD was just tired of it because like even he said it himself. I remember it was like an interview. I think he was on a podcast. He was saying like he didn't have a lot of shooters on his team, and that was true. And that was really true because like players are coming in like here and there. Like they had Kmart that one year, but he was gone. They had Anthony Morrow, but he can only do so much. But he never had like that extra player where like he can really rely on like his shoot. Not saying Westbrook wasn't a great player because he was really great, but his shot selection. Even you can see it now this past season, his shot selection is like pretty bad. So that kind of like fractured the relationship, and then it's like KD was just tired of it. He wanted to be part of a system where like everyone feeds off of each other. And Golden State was what it was, and that's what he was looking for. And then you saw how dominant they were.
It was hard to I didn't like that move. Do you think it? Do you believe it parallels slightly to the what is it? The decision from LeBron, or is it just a different context?
Oh, it's a different context because like KD, he had like way better players. LeBron was really on his own, and he's like, I can't do this. Like my legacy is like on the line, and I think he was like what? It's like his third, like his fifth year, maybe sixth year when he went to South Beach.
No, no, he was 7 years in.
Yeah, I think
He started at '03.
his eighth. Yeah, so I want to say seventh year. He went to like he was like, I've been here for 7 years. Like the guys have not built around me, so I'm gonna go to South Beach. My team with D Wade and Chris Bosh, and we're gonna win these chips.
I mean, so we were talking about obviously like the more loyalty to one individual player. Uh, Take me through some disputes that you might have had at certain periods if someone was a fan of Kobe when no disrespect, if someone was a fan of Kobe while he was toward the end of his career, or if someone was a fan of LeBron, and then you have like your perspective is a KD. So just take me to if you had any disputes with with people about who might be the best, or disputes about anything.
Oh yeah, I mean, every time I brought like Katie in conversation, they ask me who's my favorite player, and then I'll say Kate. Like we'll talk about it, and then we'll be like, "Oh, Katie's like up there. He's one of the best." And then people like, "Oh, like he was carried, even though he was a Finals MVP of that team back to back." And then people would just be like, "Oh, he's soft. He did this. He did that," and then it was just shit like that, back and forth. But I always admit it. I was like, even as a KD fan, I always admit LeBron was better. But I mean, in a couple of years, I say KD is better, but LeBron was like really like, especially in South Beach, like he was really showing that he was better. Like LeBron was a monster.
I don't miss the LeBron's Miami days. I just don't. It was ridiculous
Man,
watching it. I
I,
mean, yeah,
I hated
I
that
didn't.
both finals, man. I was so hot. I was so pissed, man. I was like, this is some bullshit, man. Fuck LeBron, fuck the Heat. I was like, fuck that, man. I was so mad.
It was a different. It was a different era. Oh wait, you know what? I actually forgot to ask because the last the last Jesus Christ.
Dance?
No, like the one of the last games that KD had, he hurt his was it his Achilles? But you remember like against the Toronto, he
The
was hurt.
Raptors.
Yeah, so just
Yeah.
take me through your emotions and what you thought it was the and how you thought like the decisions were made to put him back in the game, and how disappointed you obviously were that
Right.
he's gone for a full season.
Right. Well, like watching the game, going for the Warriors, and then they announced KD was coming back in. I was like, yeah, this is maybe not a good idea because this is a serious injury. So, but they don't care. They don't give a fuck. They're trying to win a championship. So they put him in. He was playing great. He was going off. I think he made like almost every shot that he took, like the span of like time until like he like injured himself, and then he had a really like he was hobbling over. And I was like, oh shit, oh no. And I was like really disappointed. I was like, fuck, man, they really put him in and he's hurt. Now they made it worse. So I was like, damn, man, fuck. So the Warriors now they're stuck again. So I was like, fuck. And then they end up losing the finals. But it was whatever. But the thing that really surprised me the most was like, even though he was out for 2 seasons, but the way he came back is like, he looked like he didn't even get hurt. He looks exactly the same. That's what really amazed me. That was the crazy part.
Well, I mean, you get the, I mean, some of that is like instinctual, like instinctive, and then a
Mm.
lot of that is having the right, you know, trainer and having the right, I'm trying, nutritionist is the word I was looking for. I couldn't find it. And that recovery process, and even just like tearing an ACL, like when people come back and they're still fast, I don't know how, but there's a lot that goes into that. But would you have any ill will towards the trainers or Steve Kerr or whoever for just putting him back out there when they clearly knew he's coming back way too early, and the competitive fire in him is going to say, let me come out here and shoot threes even though I'm kind of hobbled.
I say yes because like you knew it was a serious injury and you still risked it because you knew that's your best player, but you didn't care for the long run. So I don't know. I think I think they already knew that he was gonna leave after that season, regardless if they won or not. So they're like, "Fuck it, well, we got to lose." I feel like that was probably the attitude they felt towards it. That's why they made that decision. But then again, I wouldn't know.
I just remember the way NBA Game Time was reporting it, and they were saying like KD's eyeing a return. Let's say it's like Game 4. I don't remember the game, and
Right.
I just thought to myself like why are they bringing this up? There's no way he should come back when the recovery time is way longer for this. And I really didn't believe he would come. Like I just didn't believe it. And when he came, I said, "Oh, this is desperation in its truest sense." And you rarely, I mean, but you rarely see an organization that had achieved that stature, in their dynasty actually get desperate. So that's actually
I remember
it's kind of
watching
ironic.
Benny Del Negro like crying because I think he was assistant coach at the time. He had something to do with the Warriors. I forget, and he was like crying because like they said like it sounded like say like he was like they thought he was good, he was cleared, and then they didn't they were saying like it was a risk, but they still took it, and like it was like it became more of a serious injury after that. So he felt guilty basically after what had happened. So I'm like this could have all been avoided. Like but, they still ended up losing in six, even after Clay got hurt. So and Clay was that game like when they lost, Clay was on fire too. But then Danny Green had some hard ass foul, and then Clay Thompson was out for the season. I think for like two. Yeah, he was out for a season, and then I think he came back. I think in practice he tore his ACL again, and then that's the thing, man. It's like it's so risky. Like, you can like fuck up the same injury over and over again. It's like you regress because of like your health issues, and it sucks, man. Like a Brandon Roy or D Rose. Like damn.
So what's your view on Kevin Durant in Brooklyn? It's only probably like 2 3 seasons now, or 2 seasons.
Yeah. I was obviously excited because Brooklyn is my favorite borough, and obviously he's playing for New York, so that was cool. Also, he's playing alongside with Kyrie, so I was like, oh, this just makes it better. But yeah, I mean, I was excited, but then again, it's like he's not gonna come back the first season, so Kyrie has to he has to play his best until he comes back. And then when he actually came back, they played for a couple games, but then COVID happened, so the whole season got shut. So that was a wrap, and then the bubble thing happened, and then the next season. Oh yeah, this past season, Kyrie couldn't play because of the mandates. He wasn't vaccinated, so KD had to take over, and then he got hurt. And then near the end of the season, they ended up playing with each other, just able to make in the play in and get the eighth spot. And then yeah, I mean, I was excited, but no one expected like shit like this to be happening. Like no one thought they would get swept in the first round and COVID and all that stuff. It was like a lot.
Yeah. So how was, I mean, how was your process watching them? This is the first time, I would say the first time because, I don't watch every game, but this is the most significant in which he didn't look like his superstar self. So how are you processing this last series emotionally, seeing that, oh, like he actually is human sometimes.
Yeah. Honestly, I was shocked. Like, no one has ever guarded him like this. Like, Kawhi has like guarded him pretty well, but like as a whole collective, like I've never seen a team just like shut him down, like from player to player. And it was like, wow, like they really figured out a way, just like be like super aggressive to him, and then without even getting a lot of foul trouble. And then that's what they did. Like, it was like the worst series he's ever played in his whole career, and they shut him down like really good. Like they really guarded him pretty well, from like Jason Tatum to like Jaylen Brown to Marcus Smart, Grant Williams. The list goes on. Like I couldn't even like get mad because like it was just a great team, and they were bigger, and they were just better coaching. Like Brooklyn was just smaller, but yeah. So basically, it was just surprising. I was not expecting that, and and clearly Katie wasn't either.
So what should other basketball fans know about your love for the game and your your, I don't want to say obsession, but your passion for Kevin Durant style play? I guess it's a two-part question.
What should fans know about my passion about basketball? I mean, I've played it for like a long time, for like a good almost 20 years. I've been playing basketball, and like just like I used to go to like the big park for like hours by myself and just shoot around and just try to get better. And I know I work on my dribble, whatever, take some layups, but mainly like I try to like look at myself like I know I'm skinny, but how can I make myself stand out when people look at me and say, okay, like he can do this, and like he's kind of difficult to go. Like Reggie Miller, like just like that. Like he made shooting his thing. Made him like difficult to guard. So I try to do that. So that was like that's where my passion became. Like when I knew I can shoot, I kept shooting and shooting and got better. Every time I got more comfortable at one spot, I'd move back. Free throws, whatever. And then if I feel like my dribbling was not that good, and I'd keep working on. So it's mainly like watching and like practicing. So I'd watch what Katie would do, and I'll try to emulate that or other players. So that's where like my love came from, like Katie, because I feel like I can like shoot up and pull up like he can sometimes, and then if I couldn't, I'd be like, what can I do to like slow down or how he does it. So that's really what it is. If I answered that question.
Oh, so yeah, so you kind of like tied it back into Kevin Durant himself. From I mean, I know like there were some times where he would get defensive. Just to wrap this up, he would get like defensive on Twitter or whatever. Someone accused him of using like all these fake accounts, which was, which yeah, I remember. I don't know if they're as true, but fake news. I don't want to get into that. But like what's ultimately Kevin Durant's lasting impression on NBA? He's obviously in the top 75. So what's his impression from a personality standpoint, and from style play to winning? What is his fingerprint on the game in general?
I think it's just like his fingerprint on the game is like his work ethic. I mean, Kobe, I think he has the best work ethic, but I feel like Katie was just known to just be like a gym rat. Like he'd always work on his game. He's really like a ball is life type of person. Like I feel like he put that fingerprint and showed like how different he is. Like there's no like we've never seen a person that's like 7 foot that can shoot from nearly Curry range and has a dribble, like it has a handle like a point guard, and it has like an undefeated mid range. And it's just like I feel like that's what really made him stand out because he played like a guard, but he was really like a power forward. And he can almost play every position. So I feel like that was his fingerprint in the game. And like his personality, it's like he just doesn't care. Like he just plays, and if people want to talk shit, he doesn't care. He'll fire back. I feel like it's funny because on Twitter, like I'll see him like fire back, and the fans wouldn't see that, or they'd come at him more, and then it's like he doesn't give a fuck. So I also find that pretty funny.
All right, that's pretty much I think that's pretty much it. I was gonna get into like I'll call you back if I need to get into stuff about like the Eagles because the Eagles are a whole separate conversation. But it's good to just
Right.
hone in on like the favorite sport and everything. And plus, I mean, we're not in football season anyway. Not like it really matters. But
Right.
yeah, I think we gleaned a lot from this interview, and then once I write it up and get it published, I'll tag you and everything, and then it'll get posted.
Appreciate it, man. This was really dope.
Interview from about 100 yards away. Don't give our locations.
Yeah, word,
Yeah, like
neighbor
two different
shit.
locations, but like 100 yards out. It's like really funny. Not even.
You're
It's like
literally
50 yards.
across the street from me.
Yeah, yeah. All right, man. Yeah, appreciate your time. I'm about to like pass out from a workout. I hope I'm kidding when I say that. But hey, I'll let you get to it, and I'm pretty sure we're probably missing some playoff game. I don't know what game is tonight, but it's probably on
uh,
TNT.
the Mavs and the Suns, and I think the who else plays? I forget. I really forget. I
Yeah,
think that might be the game. No, the Heat and I think the Sixers. They played tonight too.
yeah. Oh,
I got
all
the
right.
Heat
Yeah,
winning that series.
yeah. That's probably the game that's on because because the West Coast thing's got to be later because that's obviously East Coast. So the West
Yeah,
Coast, the Suns game's got it has to be like a 10 or 11. I
yeah,
hope
I'm not watching it.
maybe even 9, but we'll see. 9:30.
Yeah. Mm.
All right, I'll let you get to it.
All right, bro. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, man. I'll see you.
All right, have a good one.